Welcome back to the Class Winners Workshop. I'm Sam Bear, our car guy in chief around here, and I know what you're thinking. Our 1972 Porsche 914 1.7 liter, well, it hasn't moved in weeks since the last time you saw it. But it's not true. We've actually had it out driving around, and it's running fairly well, but we found two issues that we wanted to address. One we already have, which is the timing of the engine from the previous owner. Well, it's just way too far retarded. It's supposed to be at 27 degrees before top dead center at 3,500 RPMs, and it wasn't nearly close to that. So going up the hill, well, it was just struggling. And once we hit about 3,500 RPMs, the engine was popping and spitting, and we knew there was something wrong. So all it took was a timing light and some significant rotation on the distributor, and we're back in spec. Now, the other thing that we're going to attend to today is a very common issue, which is the gas gauge, no matter how much fuel is in the tank, reads about a quarter of a tank, which is about how much fuel was in there when the car was parked for many, many years. Now, this is one of the great universal truths of the automobile hobby, which is it doesn't matter whether it's a General Motors, Ford, Dodge, Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Volvo, any of the Japanese makes. In fact, we've had tons of JDM K vehicles and Toyota Serras and the like come in where they've been sitting at the port for a long time, and before that sitting unused, and the floats just basically get stuck at the level of wherever the fuel was for all those years, and the moisture causes the float to basically rust at a maximum level. So all we need to do is pop the sender out, lube it up a little, clean it, and put it back in, and it should work. So let's give it a shot. But before we do, go ahead and take the time to click that little blue Class Winners icon and subscribe, so you can get not only more workshop content, but also our test drives of our Seat of the Pants videos and our new Class Winners Rank series, where you get to see how a lot of vehicles stack up next to their competitors. All right, let's get on to it. So unlike fuel pumps, which often require you to drain the tank of all the fuel, which is a messy problem to have, most cars, their fuel sending units are on the top of the tank, which means you just got to get access to them and pull them out. And it can range from super simple to taking out most of the rear interior on a Toyota Serra to be able to get to the fuel tank. Now, in this case, we just have this overflow tank blocking it, and it's right underneath. So we're going to figure out how to take this overflow tank off, and then we'll be looking right at it. Now it looks like we've got a couple of 10mm bolts around here, so there's one. Try not to drop it, which is blocked by this strap right here. So we're going to have to remove this tank strap and holder to get to this bolt. So let's do that. All right, now that we've just slid this out of the way, should be able to snake this underneath. Actually, it just slides off. Okay, got it. And here's our sending unit right here. No biggie. Right there. Now there is a seal on there, and it seems to be hanging in for dear life.
This is unlike any float I've ever seen.
So the first test I'm going to do is a simple one. Let's just see if we turn it upside down, if it floats, if the float goes all the way to the top, or as we turn it, becomes the bottom. Kind of feels that way. So I did decide to pull this apart, and what I found is that this was hanging on for dear life and really just then broke off. This is the wire that attaches down here, so even though the float is going up and down, trying to create that variable resistance, it was only sending a little through because this was essentially just hanging on and ready to totally break, and when I pulled it out, it obviously just totally broke. So let me get this soldered back up and then we can test it out again. All right, we've plugged it back in and we have it set so the float's all the way to the top, simulating a full tank. Now let's see what the gas gauge does. All right, all the way full. So assuming I can get the sender back together and back in the tank without breaking my new soldering work, we should be back in business. All right, sender is back in place. Let's see what our fuel gauge tells us. Right about half a tank. And really that's how much fuel is in there. So we're good to go. So that's it, we're back together. We know how much fuel's in the 914. Everything else is ready to go. So all that's left is waiting for a beautiful day so we can take it out and do a seat of the pants video for you all. So from the workshop signing off, I'm Sam Barra, car guy in chief, and reminding you to do it yourself. And even when it's a part you haven't seen before and a little bit unexpected than the norm, hey, just take your time, figure it out, and fix it. You'll be better off for it. Plus, you save all that money from paying a professional. All right, keep those classics on the road. We'll see you next time.